We now have a better idea of when Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be coming out. In fact, we can really narrow it down. We'll be talking about why and more all in this video today. And the reason we can now narrow it down is thanks to another game coming from Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, Borderlands 4. Now, we typically only talk about Borderlands 4 when we hear it on Take-Two Interactive's earnings call. And essentially what they provided on their last earnings call was that Mafia: The Old Country was going to be coming out in the summer, Grand Theft Auto 6 was going to be coming out in the fall, and that they were going to be releasing Borderlands 4 sometime before the end of the year. We didn't know when that was going to be, and we also didn't know if it was going to be before, after GTA 6, what the case might have been. However, thanks to Sony's State of Play that occurred just a few days ago, we now know when the release date of Borderlands 4 is going to be. And that date is September 23rd, 2025. And that is huge because now it basically boils down when Grand Theft Auto 6 can release to essentially 2 months. And if we want to be even more realistic, it probably boils it down to about 6 weeks in that fall 2025 period. Because remember, this year, fall begins on September 22nd and ends on Sunday, December 21st. So Borderlands 4 is coming out on the second day of fall. So now that we know that, we can pretty much guarantee that GTA 6 is going to be coming out to mid to late October to early to mid November. And that's typically a time period that Rockstar Games really likes. It's exactly what we saw with Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out on October 26, 2018. So honestly, this is really good news. And now we know again roughly when Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be coming out. It's not going to be in the early part of fall. If anything, it's probably going to be towards the middle or late part of fall. And it also begs the question, what day will Rockstar Games release GTA 6 on? If we go back to their last major title, that was Friday for Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, Friday, October 26, 2018. So just looking ahead to this year, for Fridays in October and November, there's a couple of good options. You've got Friday, October 17th. You've got Friday, October 24th. I don't think they would do it on Friday, October 31st, because that's Halloween. Again, GTA 6 is going to be the biggest game of all time. I think Halloween can wait, but they probably won't do it on that date. Flashing forward to November, you've got the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, all big Fridays that kind of go in that 6-week period of when GTA 6 could come out. This is big. And we know that it's not going to be coming out just days after Borderlands 4 releases because, again, Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, has said multiple times in the past that they plan on spreading these releases out, that they're not going to release them back to back to back. They understand that fans will honestly only have a certain amount of time to play each game. In fact, this was actually just discussed by Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick. It was picked up by IGN writing this article. Boss of GTA 6 and Borderlands 4 owner Take-Two says it will time its releases to respect the consumer's need to spend a lot of time playing these hit games before they go on to the next. And this is what the article says. Could Take-Two's big games, and by that we mean GTA 6, end up doing more harm to each other than good by releasing too close to each other? That's a question we put to Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick in an interview ahead of the company's third quarter financial results. As you'd expect, Zelnick said that it plans its release to avoid the risk of cannibalization, insisting the timing is driven by a desire to respect the consumer's need to spend a lot of time playing these hit games before they go on to the next. Saying, no, I think we'll plan the releases as so that will not have to be a problem. And what we found is when you give consumers hits, they tend to be interested in pursuing other hits. In other words, I've said this many times, even when the hits aren't ours, they're a good thing for the industry. In this case, we hope that the hits will largely be ours. So we feel really good about it. And I think that we will time our releases so as to respect the consumer's needs to spend a lot of time playing these games before they go on to the next. Essentially, what he's saying here is he wants people to A, spend time playing Borderlands 4, which B means you have to end up buying it before they move on to Grand Theft Auto 6, so you can spend a lot of time on there, obviously buy that game, end up purchasing microtransactions. Yes, does Strauss Zelnick respect your time and wanting you to play all these games, but he also wants you to buy them all, and he knows you're not going to buy them all if they all come out within a week of each other. So they're going to have to space these games out carefully. Again, Mafia: The Old Country coming out in the summer. I would imagine that would be about a month or two away from Borderlands 4, and then it'll be about a month or two away until we get Grand Theft Auto 6. That's what I would assume he means by spreading them out. Again, only time will tell, but I really do think we've now narrowed it down to the middle to end of October to early to middle of November is when we could see GTA 6 coming out. And I'm sure you guys are saying, well, Mr. Boss, what about December? Why couldn't Rockstar release it then? Essentially, 3/4 of the month is in December. I feel like that's too close to the holiday season. I think Rockstar and Take-Two want to put these games out in a timely manner so that you can have enough time to get them as either Christmas gifts or holiday gifts or whatever the case might be. And if it comes out too late in December, there might not necessarily be the opportunity to do that. They don't want to miss out on the holiday spending that consumers are going to do. So that's why I'm kind of ruling out sort of middle to late November and then essentially all of December. Even though that's a good chunk of still the fall season, I think it's too late for Rockstar and too late for Take-Two Interactive. And we know that when GTA 6 comes out, it's only going to be here for 2 consoles, well, technically 3, the PlayStation 5 and then Xbox Series X and S. And obviously PC fans are probably going to feel a little bit left out about this. However, one of the biggest CEOs in the computer gaming marketplace, Corsair, and that actually is Andy Paul, mentions that Grand Theft Auto 6 could release early next year, like early 2026. So again, Corsair CEO Andy Paul recently mentioned GTA 6's PC release window during the company's 2024 Q4 earnings call. And he essentially said their gaming business has never looked so strong, with GTA 6 the most anticipated hardware demanding game on the horizon. And then he was asked about the release window, stating that according to his understanding, it's going to come out in the fall for console, then early 26 for PC. So I don't know if the Corsair CEO knows something that we don't, but that would be huge because typically we've seen a much bigger gap between Rockstar titles coming out on the console before they get to PC. Specifically with Grand Theft Auto 5 because they re-released it for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. So what's to stop Rockstar Games from doing the same thing here? Having it come out again next year on the PlayStation 5 Pro and whatever the modified, upgraded version of the Xbox is. Would that then delay the PC launch, or are things different now because we're in 2025 versus what happened back then in 2013? Again, only time will tell, but that sounds very optimistic. And if you're a PC gamer or you have both and you just like to experience it as well on a PC, that should be good news that one of the biggest gaming CEOs in the world thinks that it won't be too long until it comes out after. Again, that's all if things stay on course for fall 2025. Which as things currently stand, that's what things are shaping up to be. And again, it looks like we can narrow that release date down to a handful of months thanks to another game coming from Take-Two Interactive's catalog, Borderlands 4. So let me know what you think in those comments down below. When do you believe Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be released? Do you think it's going to be in October? Do you think it's going to be in November? Let me know what you think in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the GTA 6 videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.